The following is produced by 5 Star Productions USA, which is solely responsible for its editorial content and is sponsored in part by a grant from Paul Mitchell Salon Hair Care.
You checked your food budget lately? For every $10 you spend, you'll spend another $1 on the packaging that you simply throw away. That waste accounts for nearly 1/3 of the load on every trash truck headed for the landfill. You can lighten that load by pre-cycling when you shop. Larger sizes, recyclable containers, and paper packaging all reduce your contribution to our overclogged waste sites. Hi, I'm Ed Begley Jr., and this is Today's Environment, where we examine some potential solutions to the problems of pollution.
King of the mountain. Now, as a child, we often strive to achieve that recognition, but if a mountain we were to climb was created by the enormous amount of stuff we throw away, well, then becoming the king might be improbable. That's a lot of trash to conquer.
Location, location, location. It's the 3 most important words in real estate. Depending on people's preference, location can mean a waterfront property, a remote ranch, or a home near a landfill.
A landfill? Certainly properties near these mountains of waste are far from prime, and to the average person living near them, they're simply an eyesore.
Each day, everything from appliances to gum wrappers can end up in a landfill, making them progressively larger. Even sewage sludges from wastewater treatment plants could eventually find a home there. After water is purified, the remaining sediments form a moist substance referred to as sludge. The disposal of this sludge presents a problem. Leaving it in a landfill can contaminate our groundwater and become an excellent food source for pathogens. To help change that, a pump manufactured by Seapex Incorporated aids in conditioning the sludge to achieve a dry content for fertilizer. This model BTI pump specifically mixes fine lime with the sludge, which absorbs as much of the remaining water as possible. Once completed, the solids are spread across soil as fertilizer. Originally, fly ash or other inorganic material were added to the sludge, which required extra mechanical processing to achieve the dry content. It was also transported by a conveyor, which increased maintenance costs and exposed the workers to an ammonia odor. The installation of the BTI pump helped change all that. The sludge is fed into a hopper of the pump from a centrifuge or belt press. Simultaneously, lime is dispensed through a volumetric feed system. 2 counter-rotating paddle shafts inside the hopper ensure optimum conditioning and mixing, and a frequency-controlled gear motor automatically adjusts the pump speed and flow rate. This system allows very economical metering of the lime. The proper mixture of lime with sludge can result in a product far more valuable than its deposit in a landfill. Since the whole process occurs in a piped system, the release of ammonia gas produced by the mixture can be contained, posing no health risks to the employees.
The application of the pump can help turn sewage sludge, once considered waste, into a rich fertilizer for agricultural usage. Now, rather than add to the growth of a landfill, sludges can now help improve agricultural yields.
Lime and sludge. It may sound like an unusual recipe, but it's these ingredients that may just lead us to a healthier environment.
Did you know that by recycling 1 aluminum can, you're saving about enough energy to run your television set for about 3 hours? 1 empty can could be your ticket to watch the Super Bowl. Get involved with Today's Environment today.
Now, we all know that eating right and exercising can help keep our arteries clear for a healthier life. But what about the arteries we drive on? Following simple guidelines can also help keep our roads clear and our environment healthy. Let's watch.
Guilty as charged. People. Every day we commit the crime of contributing to air pollution and traffic congestion by way of a weapon, the automobile. On any average weekday, we use our cars to commute to and from work or school. The choice to drive alone is ours, and so is our contribution to air pollution and traffic congestion. Today, there is a car for every 1 3/4 Americans. Each one releases harmful emissions into the air, crowds our highways, and wastes energy. As population rises, so can the problem. Rather than watch our environment head down an unhealthy road, one state is helping apply the brakes. In 1991, a commute trip reduction law, CTR, was passed by Washington State Legislature, requiring major employers to develop and implement a commute trip reduction program for their employees traveling during peak hours. The program is designed to reduce the overall number and distance of drive-alone commutes employees make each day to work. The CTR law encourages companies to design programs that will work best for them. Weyerhaeuser Company in suburban Seattle did just that by appointing a full-time employee transportation coordinator, or ETC, to help employees find ride-sharing partners. They also worked with local businesses and Metro Transit to develop a special dial-a-ride service for the community. In downtown Seattle, Immunex Corporation decided to encourage bicycle commuting and subsidize transit fares for people who use the bus or walk onto ferries. Other incentives include reserved parking spaces for carpools and van pools, and telecommuting. Using other modes of transportation can increase employee productivity and morale while helping to reduce pollution and energy consumption. Together, government and businesses are making an effort to solve community problems and increase our quality of life. By leaving the car at home and choosing other commuting options, we all can help do justice to our environment. In a moment on Today's Environment, the sun's thermal energy comes to the rescue and Lake Erie reincarnated. Next.
It's beginning to add up. Solar calculators are probably the largest selling solar power device in America. And along California's highways, many emergency phones operate on the sun's power. Now, harnessing the energy from our nearest star may just be the best answer to pollution on this planet.
Decisions. Life's filled with choices. And a long time ago, our grandparents decided that non-renewable fossil fuels would be the energy source of choice. Now we rely on that energy for everything from lighting up the big city to pumping drinking water in a remote village. But the carbon dioxide and other emissions released from burning fossil fuels has set this planet on a course for disaster. It's now time for our generation to step back and reconsider alternatives to our diminishing supply of fossil fuels. One promising option may be to tap into the most abundant energy source in the solar system, the sun. Every day it showers us with more energy than we could ever possibly use. Since most of the past research and development was devoted to extracting energy from fossil fuels, the technology to tap the sun's infinitely renewable energy is now underdeveloped. Fortunately for the planet, that may soon change. Innovative solar energy devices may offer practical alternatives to transform the sun's energy into electricity. This dish-stirling system, developed by Cummins Power Generation, can harness the sun's thermal energy and directly convert it to electrical power. The standalone power plants can generate electricity in remote areas that power lines don't reach, or augment the load at public utilities, especially the ones who've had to close older portions of the plant because the dated equipment could not comply to clean air regulations. The dish-stirling system uses a parabolic solar concentrator with reflective mirrors arrayed in a dish shape and focuses the sunlight on a heat pipe receiver. As the heat on the receiver rises to about 650 degrees centigrade, a fluid transfers that energy and powers a free piston Stirling engine. Within the engine, a moving piston drives a magnet assembly and a linear alternator extracts the electrical current. A microcomputer constantly monitors and controls the system. It manipulates the dual-axis tracking frame to maintain alignment with the sun. Therefore, its rays can concentrate on the hemispheric heat collector. When teamed with an auxiliary power source like natural gas, this system may be able to supply current at any time of day or night in all weather conditions. The renewable power of the sun, wind, and water offer us nearly infinite supplies of pure energy. If we make the commitment to develop these cleaner alternatives, well, we may be able to leave the next generation with a lot more options.
Recycle one bottle and you could save enough energy to run a 100-watt bulb for about 4 hours. Now that's a bright idea. Recycle and get involved with today's environment today.
How much is too much? Well, on average, people in this nation use about 150 gallons of water per day for things like cooking, washing, flushing, and watering. But if you count what's also used to produce our food, well, you can add over 1,800 gallons for every man, woman, and child. And that's a lot of water.
Do you believe in life after death? Well, for humans, we may never know the answer. But what's happening on Lake Erie is nothing short of a reincarnation. In 1970, this lake was pronounced dead on arrival. The urban sprawl along the shores leaked, leached, released, and dumped so much waste, especially phosphorus from household detergents and fertilizers, that life in the lake became a thing of the past. Fortunately, programs launched within the last 25 years resuscitated Lake Erie with a form of ecological CPR. Now it can be considered as one of the nation's most abundant fisheries. An important part of the lake's recovery may be the massive phosphorus removal program developed by the Detroit Water and Sewage Department.
A billion-dollar combination of new facilities and innovative strategies can now eliminate more than 80% of the phosphorus from wastewater coming into the plant.
Nearly 90% of all pollutants may now be extracted before the water returns to the lake. Reviving the lake to its previous abundance represents only phase one of a long-term strategy. Keeping the lake clean in the future while the area grows, develops, and expands stands out as the ultimate goal of the program. Over 3,000 miles of sewer pipes ranging from 16 feet in diameter to 6 inches form the intricate network that conveys wastewater into the treatment plant. In addition to household and industrial wastewater, stormwater runoff creates another important source of polluted water flowing into the plant. In dry seasons, the normal sewer flow and its pollutants can be handled easily within the system that treats over 700 million gallons a day. But in rainy seasons, precipitation can swell the normal load to way over 1 billion gallons per day and add pollutants from lawn fertilizers and grease from streets. Previously, overloaded pipes would release excess untreated fluid into nearby rivers and streams, so household pipes could still function without backing up. Already, one massive underground storage basin is under construction, which can divert 3 million gallons of the overflow and holds it until capacity can handle the abundance. Several more of these catch basins, strategically placed, will begin construction within the very near future. Extensive tree planting programs can also help reduce the amount of stormwater runoff. The trees allow the ground to absorb more moisture, as well as extract carbon dioxide from the city air.
When you realize that nearly 20% of all the fresh water on Earth is found in the Great Lakes, well, the effort to keep this water clean soars in importance as a matter of survival.
Because maintaining our fresh water supply stands out as a vital prerequisite to sustaining our planet. Stand by. The computer industry reduces its planetary impact, plus an update on CFC-based chemicals and the law, next on Today's Environment.
So just how will cyberspace affect the Earth? Well, the devices on the information superhighway are as different and varied as the vehicles on our local interstates. These computers move at various speeds, have different options, and just like our cars, some pollute more than others.
Now, if this is where it all begins, then this is where it begins again. As computer technology advances at an exponential rate, so does the carnage from yesterday's discarded processors. Every year, consumers and organizations buy millions of new computers, printers, and monitors, and millions of old ones get retired. Fortunately, some computer manufacturers believe in product stewardship and design their machines to minimize impact on the environment at every stage of the life cycle. It can start day one, right on the drawing board. This engineer, working for the Digital Equipment Corporation, attempts to incorporate designs for environmental health and safety into every element of this future device. It can include environmental solutions from the way it's made, to the way it's used, to the way it's disposed of. Designs to minimize environmental impact can include ideas that eliminate or minimize hazardous chemicals during assembly, reduce paper by putting manuals on disk, and even cut tons of shipping waste by using reusable elements and recyclable shipping boxes. During use, computers, printers, and monitors devour electricity, which can be the source of tons of emissions from power plants. Designing these devices to surpass the EPA's Energy Star standards can help reduce their impact on the planet. These designers can spend as much time worrying about how to take their computers apart as they do planning how to put them together. Features that can make it easier to recycle the computer and as many parts as possible can be built right into the designs. Even take-back systems, so the customer can return the computer for recycling when it's retired, are thought about and planned out before they build the first circuit. Customers today are demanding green features like the Energy Star designation, better upgradability for extended life, and the assurance that the machine can be easily recycled when it ultimately must be retired. Computer technology can lead us on wild and wonderful adventures along information superhighways, internets, and world wide webs. And if the machines that make it all possible can be gentle on our home planet, we can all enjoy the journey into cyberspace.
So what's your life expectancy? Well, the average human lives about 70 or 80 years. Now, the average CFC molecule can persist in the atmosphere for about 150 years. Now, these chemicals we've released will affect the ozone layer for generations to come. Here's something being done about it.
Can you feel the heat? You better stay out of the sun. Ozone-depleting chemicals called chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs for short, have opened the door to excess UV radiation. And some experts believe they've become major contributors to a trend called global warming, because each CFC molecule has about 20,000 times more heat-trapping potential than a carbon dioxide molecule.
The U.S. government reacted to limit the release of these chemicals, primarily used as refrigerants, with stringent amendments to the Clean Air Act. Now, these new laws prohibit venting CFCs and also charge stiff excise taxes for any newly manufactured CFC-based chemicals.
This sent a shockwave through many industries that depend on refrigerants for their very survival, and the technology to make compliance easy still needs to catch up with the legislation. Every day, researchers are scrambling to develop new planet-friendly refrigerants and alternative chilling systems. However, the vast majority of air conditioners and refrigeration units still need CFC-based refrigerants to continue to operate. Fortunately, there are some technologies that can help keep these current systems in compliance. This portable refrigerant recovery unit, called the Zugabeast, may be one example. It can purify a system's coolant on site and eliminate the need to collect and ship hazardous chemicals for reclamation. Developed by Hudson Technologies, some of these units can reclaim and purify nearly 6,000 pounds of refrigerant per hour. When a refrigeration unit breaks down, it's no longer acceptable to simply vent the CFC refrigerants and repair it, which is what was done in the past. Now, a technician must drain the refrigerants and contain the CFCs while the system is in maintenance. A worker can wheel this device right up to the refrigeration system. As a contaminated refrigerant is recovered, it's also being purified and can then be returned to the chilling unit later.
The Zugabeast is important because it was designed so that the mechanic can recover and reclaim refrigerants, both liquid and gas, without emitting any refrigerant to the ozone. In addition to that, we were able to separate all the contaminants in a system, both the oils and acids that would have been contaminated to the ground. So we're able to separate this out and save both ground and atmosphere.
A portable lab accompanies the system so that the purified coolant can be verified on site and certified as meeting the legislated purity requirements. If an old refrigeration unit is inoperable, the CFCs can be taken, reclaimed, and put into use in another, newer unit.
The fragile ozone layer protects us from excess radiation, which can cause skin cancer, crop damage, and many other environmental catastrophes. If we can keep the chemicals that destroy our ozone contained, clean, and under control, we may be able to put a freeze on any additional damage.
How's your air conditioner working? Did you know that leaky auto air conditioners send more CFCs into the atmosphere than any other source? Those CFCs deplete the ozone layer. That exposes us and our planet to too much ultraviolet radiation. So if you've got a leak, get it fixed. You'll stay more comfortable, and the Earth will be better off too. I hope the show gave you some good ideas. Join us next time as we explore more environmental solutions on Today's Environment.
If you know of any interesting environmental success stories, call us at 407-997-9800. The preceding program was sponsored in part by a grant from Paul Mitchell Salon Hair Care. This has been a presentation of 5 Star Productions USA.
How's your air conditioner working? Did you know that leaky auto air conditioners send more CFCs into the atmosphere than any other source? Those CFCs deplete the ozone layer. That exposes us and our planet to too much ultraviolet radiation. So if you've got a leak, get it fixed. You'll stay more comfortable, and the Earth will be better off too. I hope the show gave you some good ideas. Join us next time as we explore more environmental solutions on Today's Environment.
If you know of any interesting environmental success stories, call us at 407-997-9800. The preceding program was sponsored in part by a grant from Paul Mitchell Salon Hair Care. This has been a presentation of 5 Star Productions USA.